What is good? What is good, guys? CB Trades here, back to another weekly outlook for you guys. Today we're gonna go over the charts and see what we are most likely gonna do the coming week. Today we have a lot to cover because, man, what a fucking week, right, guys? But let's start at the beginning. In one of the previous weekly outlooks, I headlined that if we are bullish, I wanted to see a sweep of this low, which was an internal low with overlapping with the 4-hour bullish FEJ here. That was this one right here. I wanted to see this one, or if we might want a deeper retracement, even a sweep of these relative equal lows here, which are right here. But we not even swept this one, we dumped right through them, yeah. That's extremely, I mean, it might seem bearish, but let me give me some time so we can see that this might actually be bullish later on. But yeah, we will cover this later in the video. But yeah, I did not expect this kind of dump, man. Extremely surprising. But it also gives us some new opportunities because, in my opinion, that's only a fake move. I've seen this a lot of times because it might be possible that we are heading to these lows and then give us the real move back up, right? Something like this. Because we are not really, we are overbought, yeah, that's true, but we are not now bearish. We have structure is still bullish. Look at the high time frames. We have a big candle, yeah, that's true, but it's not really confirming structure, you know. We still have this weekly FVJ open. That's why I'm not too fast to say that we are bearish right now and go to all-time lows, you know. There are a lot of people who are saying, yeah, right, the big correction is coming now, but no, it's still too soon. It would be beautiful, to be honest, but not now. We have to be a bit more patient here. And as long as this fair value gap, this weekly fair value gap holds, I will be bullish. And I'm looking for a sweep of this internal low here, which is also which also represents a weekly swing low here. So yeah, I don't want to say that we are bearish now. We still have structure to this respect to be really bearish. So yeah. But yeah, this big dump might be frightening, but it's all a plan for me. I think that it's bullish because not only because we have the structure to invalidate, we also have Trump saying that stocks should go up, not down. As we know that Trump gives really high quality signals for us guys, for us retail people, as he did in the past. So I'm not really bearish right now. I want, because my thought process is that we are preparing for a really big move to the upside. I think that we are sweeping all of this low resistance liquidity out here, right? Which aligns with this beautiful weekly swing low here. And after taking all of this low resistance liquidity out here, which are trillions and trillions of dollars right now, we're gonna get the real move back to new all-time highs and just continue higher. But if we should displace through this weekly FVJ and close under it, I might really take bearishness into consideration. That's the point where I would really re-ask myself if we are really bullish. So yeah, with that being said, let's mark out some possible scenarios we can trade this. The best case would be if we form some nice equal lows here and then get a nice retracement to the upside. Why? Because then we would have nice equal lows to target, and if we get a high time for retracement, we still have something to work with, because we know we will go here, and if we get some validating structure here, something like an AMD or a inverse fair value gap here, we can really take shorts and get some more possibilities to trade here. Something like this. Sweep off this range high. SMT as well would be beautiful. Let me, come on, yeah, just like that. Like a market structure shift or a CISC, whatever you want to call it. And then we can ride the last leg down to our drawn liquidity. That might be the best case scenario for us if we don't get a sweep of the slow ride ahead. But for example, if we dump right at Sunday open, for example, and sweep this out, then that's the case where we have to be a bit more careful, because then we have to wait for some confirmation first before we take longs, before we can take longs, because we will have to wait for confirmation. And the worst case scenario would be if we would have to wait for an inverse fair value gap, because it's pretty likely that we will open up a bearish fair value gap here on Tuesday, which will be most likely be pretty huge and pretty close to the drawn liquidity as well, which is not really good, because then after getting an inverse here, we are pretty close to our drawn liquidity, and that means that we could have less possibilities to participate in the markets. So yeah, that would be the worst case if we dump right to our drawn liquidity, our equal lows here, and have to wait for inverse fair value gap on the higher time frames, because like I said before, we have less opportunities looking for longs up here. It would be better if we have the possibilities to look for longs down here, and that's where the second scenario or the third scenario comes into play. If we again sweep this out, we have another scenario which would be preferable for us, because if we sweep this out and form some, also 4 hour time frame, if we sweep this out and get some nice structure here in form of accumulation, we can then, but this accumulation has to take place in at least the 15-minute or hourly time frame. If we get some form of ranging liquidity and ranging price action here, we could wait for an AMD to occur. So if we get a nice range and get a manipulation of this range, we can then look for longs if there is some confirmation, if we want to get for confirmation for going higher. Yeah, right. So if we get AMD in the lower time frames, we can already look for longs if we get the confirmation here. I hope you guys understand what I'm telling you, what I'm trying to say. Instead of waiting for an inverse fair value gap on higher time frames and taking any longs up here, we would have then the opportunity to take longs down here if we get an AMD setup in the hourly time frame, for example. So we could already take trades down here instead of up here. So that would be the ideal scenario for the second case if we get a sweep of this weekly swing low right ahead. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. That's everything I see on the charts right now. Maybe there's something I missed, you can point that out in the comments. Would be nice. Yeah guys, let's take a look at the economic calendar as well. So as we see, we don't have any news on Monday and Tuesday, and we also have CPI on Wednesday, so I would assume to be very careful on Monday and Tuesday because these will most likely be low volatility days, because we will most likely wait for CPI volatility to kick in. And after 8:30 a.m. CPI news release, I will be participating in the markets. That's where most of the money will get injected into the market, where we will see some more efficient price action. Thursday as well, we got PPI news, nice volatility, and Friday we also got some orange folder news. So yeah, I will skip Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are trading days for me. That's it, guys. Keep in mind, stock should go up, not down. That's our signal right here. We are close to this big liquidity pool, which can then sponsor the move back up to new all-time highs, and on ES as well. I almost forgot to mention, we also are close to this sell side liquidity pool, so we are in sync. There's no discorrelation. It looks on ES, it also looks pretty good. And yeah, I don't want to see a close below the weekly fair value gap, and that would mean that we have to rewrite our narrative. But yeah, let's see what happens. Stay safe, trade well, and I will see you in the next one. Peace, guys.